Hey VBS leaders, I wanted to say thank you so much for your feedback on the cross bead necklace activity for day 2. Because of what you shared with us, we've changed it to make it easier and more stable. So in your folder, you'll have the new instructions for every table, but right now I wanted to go over it with you so you know how to lead your class. Here we go. You will have a 2-foot piece of string. This is elastic cord, still very stretchy, but it has a cloth covering on it to make it easier to tie into a knot. It's longer than what you had previously. And you'll have 6 round pony beads like this and 4 heart beads. The heart beads all face inward so that they lock together. So starting out, I would have kids lay out the design they want. You'll have 3 round beads, and then you'll have your 4 hearts all facing inwards, and then with their points pointing out, if that helps you. And then you'll have 2 beads on the arms and 1 bead on top. So to build it, you'll grab one end of your string and slide on the first bead. Then to build upwards, we'll put our 2 ends together and slide on our next 2 beads and our first heart with the 2 ends together. So together, together, heart. And the heart will be upright. This is the only heart that goes on facing up because all of our hearts end up facing inward. There we go. You just built the base of your cross. You'll notice that my blue bead was only put through the one end of the string, which is why it faces a different direction than the 2 purple beads. All right, now to build the arms, I like to tell kids to split their string like the arms of the cross so that way they don't get their string ends mixed up. Taking one end, string's so hard to grab, you'll put on the heart bead first and you'll put it on upside down. So drop it on upside down and put it as close to the other one as you can. And then you'll drop on your round pony bead for that end. And leave it just like that. Now going to the other end, you'll do the same thing. Drop on your heart bead upside down. Get as close as you can. And then you'll drop on your round pony bead. Now our ends have to get back together to finish building our cross because right now we just have a letter T. This is probably the most confusing part of it. And so if you have a younger class or a less crafty class, I would have them all do this part together. When they're ready for this part, have them put their hands in the air with a T or whatever sign you want so you know they are ready for the next step. To do the next step, to get our ends back to the middle, our blue bead we leave alone. It just hangs out. It does not need to be touched. But we're going to take an end and run it back through our heart bead. So we'll go from the bottom, the outside of our heart bead. Let's see if I can get this closer to you. Through the bottom and then through the top. So it comes back to the center like that. And it'll pull tight and then you can just kind of wiggle your beads into place. It takes a little bit of wiggling for them to get close again after you've pulled the string and done that to it, but that's what it should look like. And then going to the other side, you'll do the same thing. You leave that round bead alone, that blue bead. And then for your heart bead, you go from the bottom, which is pointing out, through to the top. And then you'll pull your string up. And then you can wiggle them into place. I find it easier sometimes to pick up the cross and then wiggle them into place that way. Kind of have gravity help you out a little bit. Whatever you need to do to get them into place. Kids might need a little help if they're younger. It really is just wiggling it until they fall into place though. Nothing fancy. So we have our T made and our ends back together. So with our 2 ends together, we're going to slide our last 2 beads on through both ends, just like we did when we were building the bottom. First, we'll take our heart bead, once again, upside down, so our hearts link together. Slide it onto both ends, all the way down. And then we'll finish with our last pony bead. Slide it all the way on. So this is our cross, just like that. You can see how the 4 heart beads interlink in the middle, and then all of my blue beads only went through one edge of the string, and all of my purple beads went through both ends, if that helps you remember that. Now, the other question I got a lot was how to knot it. I don't like doing a square knot where you take your ends separately and try to crisscross them. It gets confusing. My favorite way to knot is to take the two ends together and do the same way that you would knot a water balloon. So make a loop of both ends together, and then take your two ends, tuck them from the back through the front, and then you would just pull tight. Let me show you that one more time. You'll take your two ends, make a loop with the string in front, and then that string just has to wrap around and go through, just like that. If you need help knotting or want to see it in person, just let me know anytime before VBS, and you'll pull it tight. Thanks so much. See you at VBS.